Ketter at the Cabin presents BOC with Ketter. Fly fishing, stories, connection. Now pour yourself a drink. What's up, everyone? Ketter at the Cabin here. I'm happy to share that this video is brought to you by Root River Rodco. If you're in the Lanesboro area and need anything fly fishing, pop in the shop. The guys will have you covered. Otherwise, jump on their website and use promo code Ketter15 to get 15% off your order. Now, let's get to the episode.
All right, welcome back to another episode of BOC with Ketter. We are in season 2. This is episode 2, so we are fresh into the season. I do have another special guest with me. If you're familiar with the Driftless, you might be familiar with this gentleman here, but I will let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Lance Prado, and I'm the owner of Root River Rodco Fly Shop in Lanesboro, Minnesota.
Absolutely, it's a beautiful place. I've had the pleasure to visit it a couple times. It is a awesome spot.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. So those of you who don't know, just give us a little brief rundown of what Root River Rodco does and what it is.
And so we're a full service fly shop. We have everything you need to get started fly fishing to up to, pro level stuff here. We do a lot of guiding. We kind of earned the nickname from a few people that we are the pioneers of guided drift boat trips and
That's awesome.
the Driftless. So that's kind of what we do here, and we do just a lot of regular wade guiding. But yeah, fly tying, we have a whole room dedicated to fly tying materials. We do weekly tying events, so we just kind of do it all, and yeah, it's fun family owned shop.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, I forgot to ask you, Lance. I always ask what you're sipping on. You got a special beverage here tonight?
I do. Extra
What do you
special.
got?
My daughter made me a cup of hot chocolate.
It's awesome. I love that. It is the perfect
Yeah.
weather for that. I got a nice Sprite. I'm still kind of getting over my sickness, so I've been on the Sprite and Pedialyte diet.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
cheers, man. Cheers.
Cheers, dude.
Awesome. So you kind of let us know, you're located in Lanesboro. To me, that is the heart of the Driftless. So in your eyes, what does the Driftless mean to you?
I mean, the Driftless is like just such a special place. Like where I came from in Minnetonka area, like you never even heard of it. Everybody goes up north for fishing, and then once you make it down here, you kind of realize like, holy cow, this is still Minnesota. So it's yeah, just the Driftless region where the ice, the icebergs kind of went around it, glaciers, I guess you could say, and it's hard to put in words to describe this place. It's like a mixture of mini Colorado meets, Montana for fishing, and more spring creeks than anywhere else in the US. So
Yeah, it is. It's incredible. I'm originally from Faribault, Minnesota myself, and like honestly, that's not that far from the Driftless, and I had no idea growing up that that was, an hour away, hour and a half away from where I was. I'm like, this is a real place right outside my back door. And yeah, as soon as I figured it out, I was like, oh yeah, I don't ever want to leave this area.
yeah, I know
Like
it's
perfect.
it's hard. It kind of brings you in, especially, it's like once you realize like how good the fishing is and everything, it's hard to leave it.
It is. It's like, and like Minnesota to me, like, yeah, you got the North Shore. I spent 6 years up there in my lifetime. Absolutely gorgeous. Like, there's nothing like the North Shore. But honestly, like, I think if I had to, no, confidently, if I had to pick one, I would take the Driftless. If I had to like pick a place to live in Minnesota, I would stick to the Driftless, which that's not easy to say.
Yeah, it really isn't. There's a lot of great spots in Minnesota, and it's
There is.
hard to beat.
It is absolutely. From my understanding, just looking at your website and just kind of, looking around, it looks like, Root River Rodco kind of had its start a farther back. Can you kind of explain that process and how you kind of got into that?
Yeah. Root River Rodco started with my father-in-law, Steve Sobiniak. He was a bamboo rod maker and restorer. So when the shop kind of became an idea, he we told him, we were down here. Long story, we were down here just eating dinner one night, and after camping and fishing, and saw this building for sale. Went back up to the cities, told him, and like a couple months later, he just came over for dinner, and they were like, "Yeah, we bought that building, and we're gonna start a fly shop and
Dude,
have a place to showcase his rods that he was making." And that's all he wanted, was just a place to showcase his fly rods. And then it turned into a full fly shop. And then when we moved down here in 2019, we just like really expanded it and made it into what it is today.
yeah, that's awesome. And so how long? So when did like the bamboo and like when did he buy that shop? Was it like 5, 6 years ago, or did it kind of transform over time?
He bought it in 2016. Shop opened April 1st, 2017. And that's when he was, building rods in here. He was taking orders for bamboo rods. So anyone that got one of his rods, if they ever want to sell it, contact me. I'll buy it back, because
That's awesome, man.
he's passed away now due to
Yeah,
cancer. But yeah, he just made basically works of art that you could fish, and so they're great.
that's incredible. I definitely have. I feel like every kind of fly fisherman kind of eventually hits that point where they kind of have a natural pull to want to like learn more about the bamboo. And I've never personally even touched one, but like it's getting to that point where it's like, okay, I want to try to find one of these and fish with one of them because they look awesome.
Yeah, it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
The closest thing to it is like a fiberglass rod, but
Mhm.
still, it's like there's something about a bamboo rod. It's just the feeling. You can feel everything. Like when you're casting, it's
Yeah.
just it feels great.
That is
So
sweet. Does
you'll
it,
have to
do you,
get down here, and I'll let you play with one.
yeah, I'd like to try that. Do you like find it like easier to do that with just like dry flies, or can you nymph, can you streamer fish, or what does that look like?
You can do it all with the
Can you?
bamboo rod for
Okay.
sure. But I mean, there's guys like Dave Norling.
Hmm.
He's building bamboo rods for guys to catch muskies on them.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's happening. And I have a bamboo rod that Steve made that is like specifically made for the brule for
Uh,
swinging flies for steelhead. So I mean, again, it's just like any other fly rod. It's, you get the right fly rod, and you can catch whatever fish you want. So
yeah, true.
there's a guy in town here named Andy Sabota. He invented the swim and Jimmy fly,
Ah.
the streamer. He worked for Kelly Gallup, like back
Hmm.
when Kelly Gallup started. But he would take his bamboo rod and go catch like permit and stuff, and the saltwater and bonefish, and like so
Really?
it's limitless what you can do with the bamboo rod. It's just, they're just as strong as graphite. You just gotta treat them a little bit different. So
Huh.
they're they're good.
Interesting. Yeah, see, that's just how much I know about 'em. I kind of figured they were just kind of like a dry fly specialist. So that's pretty cool to hear. That's awesome. Cool. So in your eyes, what does a perfect day look like for you? Does shop opens, you go guiding or sneaking away for a little solo? What does that look like for you?
I'd yeah, I guess perfect day is like fishing before I open the shop. So like, right here in Lanesboro, the Root River flows right through town, and I will leave my house in my golf cart like 15 minutes early, and then drive down to the dam, catch some fish, and then come here to the shop. And
Dude.
it just makes my day when like I can go like clear my head real quick and catch a couple of fish before I like work.
Dude, yeah, that's the dream, man.
Yeah. I mean, not too many people say they can leave their house in a golf cart with a rod vault on top of their golf cart with like 4 rods, and then go catch a fish on their way to work,
Dude.
like
Yeah.
just drinking coffee or whatever. It's
Nope.
it's
Breakfast
literally a
burrito,
dream.
coffee, you're doing it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's what dreams are made of right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I used to work full remote, so I'd have to log in by 8 or 9, whatever, and I would always, yeah, it's summertime, sneak out, go fish for the first hour, 2 hours, and just not even catching fish, just getting out and like starting my morning out on the water, just watching the world awake. and then like going home and working, it made work so much easier because it was just like, oh, I've already had that like little time
Yeah.
away. I've been able to think about my life, my day, and like, okay, now I can go work for 8 hours. It is nice to have that.
It's like a big reset button. I mean, like, you could, like sometimes I just go down there and, like, I'll make 2 casts and then just kinda, like,
Yep.
watch fish rise or do whatever and just hang out, and it's like,
Yeah,
that's all I need.
exactly. And just sit down on a rock and just yeah,
Yeah.
just be yourself. And it's like, yeah, this isn't the worst thing.
Yeah, yep.
That's awesome. All right, cool. Another question. You kind of touched base on this from the beginning. Do you think a fly shop is more of like a community hub than it used to be? I've definitely seen that you do a lot of like tying, you do a lot of fun events. Do you think it's kind of more of like a community hub?
Yeah, like, owning a fly shop, having, like, the brick and mortar thing, I hope those never go away because it is,
Agreed.
like I mean, you can buy anything online, and you could probably find a better deal online somewhere down the road, but, like, coming into a shop, talking to a real person, and just, like, being welcomed basically into the community, like, it's way better, so, yeah, it's definitely a huge part to have this and have people just come in, hang out, tell stories, ask questions, and it's cool. You
It
like
is.
like they say on Pawn Stars, you never know who's gonna walk through the door, so it's cool. I really
That's
like
very
it.
true. That's very true. Yeah, I see you guys do some work with like the local breweries and stuff like that. I just think that's so awesome how communities can come together for a
Yeah,
greater cause like that. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. And being like such a small town, we try and we try and be friends with everybody in town. We try and help someone if they need help or they help us and communicate. Like right now, Toronto Limited is planning a huge habitat improvement through downtown Lanesboro here. And then so I basically got the whole town involved and all of that. So, just so everybody's on page and understands what's going to happen to the river, just to keep everybody, involved
Huh.
in the loop.
Interesting. I did not know that. That's very cool. Not to like spoil anything, but is it a project that's going to take years, or is it kind of you don't have to talk
No,
about that if you don't want to either?
yeah, no, so it's not fully, the plan isn't fully done yet. It's not going to take years, but sometime in the next year or two, it will happen. There will be kind of major structure redone through downtown Lanesboro, and it will turn into a cool, the end goal is to have it like almost like a nature preserve where there's like still like woods and trees and paths to walk down, so there'll be a lot easier access to the river. There will be like river structure done and better habitat for trout fishing. So we just kind of want to get both of those together where it's like you're still downtown, but you feel like you're out in the wilderness is what we want, but it's still easy to access the river for everybody. So it's gonna be a cool project. Pretty excited about it. We're, working with TU and been working with them since I think the idea sprung up probably 3-4 years ago. And then since October, we've been kind of working with, the project manager and everybody there, and president, TU, and because it's not just like a normal trout stream way out in someone's farm field or woods. It's like
Like in the
it's going
city.
through a town. It's going
Yeah,
through a town, and there can be a big economic impact if it fails. So it's
very much so.
trying to
Yeah.
take all the precautions and just get it right the first time, and
Mhm.
so it's looking good.
That's very cool, man. That's really cool. I did not know that. I think that's a great idea too, because like a lot of people want to get into fly fishing, but I think they might get intimidated by like, oh, I got to go out to these crazy remote places. Like, yes, you can do that, but there is some phenomenal fishing within towns. Like even up in my area, like there's some great fishing right within city limits. So I think that's a very cool opportunity.
Yep. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I mean, all these small towns around here have that opportunity of good fishing, and so we're just trying to preserve it, make it better, and make it last longer for the future with, so that's just what we want.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm sure you've had the privilege of going to, plenty of fly shops over your time. What, in your opinion, makes a fly shop in the Driftless? What do they need to have to be a good, effective fly shop in the Driftless area?
Uh, they need to have, just just the people working it need to be just down to earth. That's it. Just welcoming. Someone walks in, like acknowledge them. Uh, I mean, we've had people that work at this shop and walk into other shops, and they don't even know that they work at another fly shop,
Hmm.
and the person working behind the counter just doesn't even say hi and stuff like that. So yeah, just acknowledge everybody that walks in and treat them like family. So I would say that's the big part. Otherwise, we're all kind of selling the same thing.
Very
So
much
it's
so.
yeah, that's just what I would like to do, and what I tell my employees that needs to happen is that everybody that walks through the door is family, and treat them with respect, and you know answer their questions, ask them questions about what they need, and just help them out.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's the human aspect is always going to be important, especially when it comes to you know buying something. Like everyone who's a consumer in the world, it's their hard-earned money. So if you can put that human touch on something, it makes it a lot easier and just more enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean and it's like I don't really get to control the prices because I pay for it, and then someone else has got to pay for it. So it's like, and things are going up in price. So it's, we want to make sure that, yeah, their money gets spent in the right direction where they're going to be happy for not just like today, but, for years to come with what they purchase. So
Exactly.
that's what we
No,
want.
that's awesome. That's a great answer. I love that answer. So
Yeah.
in your life, what came first? Was it like guiding, or did you jump right into the shop, or did you kind of mix those together at the same time?
I mean, yeah, just the fly fishing aspect was first. I started fly fishing when I was like 10.
Wow.
Um, so I'm 36 now, so I've been fly fishing for a while.
Dang.
But then, yeah, then, just doing that on and off, you know, throughout my whole life. And then I moved to Colorado after high school
Mm,
and did it there, and then moved back here and dove into it really hard. And then the fly shop idea came about. And then when the fly shop opened, that's when the guiding came about. Cause, Steve wasn't, at the very idea of like opening the fly shop. He wasn't really into like getting guides. He just, like I said, just wanted a place to showcase his bamboo rods, have a place dedicated to making them. But then we were kind of blessed with one kid in town named Jared, he was a young kid when he started here in high school, and he wanted to guide. So that's how it started. And then we just went after it. And there's like some kind of sleeper legends that live in Lanesboro area. Like I said, Andy Sabota, who invented the swimming Jimmy, worked with Kelly Gallup. He lives in town. He's a local school teacher. He's got a class of
that's awesome.
craft. There's another dude who's not like famous, but he's a legend for sure in Minnesota. His name's Dan Mitchner, and
Okay.
he's had a hide boat forever and been, so those two have been floating the rivers down here before I was born, basically. So they've they know it all, and it's cool to have them kind of in our corner and be able to talk to them about stuff. And it's the stories they got. It's great.
I can't imagine, man. They probably know those rivers like they could close their eyes. I'm sure. I'm sure you're probably getting to that point too, where it's like, all right, I can close my eyes and tell you what's there, what's there, what's there, cast there,
Yeah,
like that. That's pretty cool.
yeah. I mean, I'm at that point. I mean, the rivers do change like after every flood a little bit, but I'm pretty much at that point where it's like I put in 100 days a year on the boat floating. So you get to know I'm pretty quick doing that for the last 10 years. It's a lot. We explore a lot too, so it's cool.
That is very cool. Yeah, I can't imagine how. Yeah, that just having the ability to go out like but waiting, waiting is great. You get to explore a lot of water, but getting out on a boat has to just take it to a completely next level when it comes to exploring.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not every river system down here has trout, so it's you really gotta put in the time and work to find where the trout are
Mhm.
and where it's floatable water, so it's
Yeah,
it's you gotta do it, and then it's worth it when it pays off, so,
yeah, yeah. I suppose that's half the battle too. Just knowing like, hey, like we can't float this part because the water's low or something like that. So
yeah.
I'm sure that's part of half the battle right there before you even decide to
Yeah,
go out.
yeah.
So
Mhm. And there's,
that's
like,
pretty.
just random cattle crossings that will have, like, wires hanging across, like, not really to stop people from floating, but to keep their cattle from, like,
Oh,
wandering
sure. Yeah,
downstream.
I know what you mean. Yep. Mhm.
So so, like, on some of those sections where you float, you gotta know where those are at and be able to manage going under those and, hot wire. So it's
Yeah,
you just gotta put in the time and it'll pay off.
you do. You do. Yeah, there's nothing like just putting in the time and understanding a certain river or certain section. It's very cool when you have that confidence when you can go out and be like, okay, I know here, here, here. I know what's going to happen here. Like it's a very cool feeling because the only way you get to that point is literally by time on the water. And it's just a good way to remind yourself, like, okay, it's all worth it. Even if the 3 times before this I got skunked or blah, 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 but you definitely learned something. So it's like, okay, it'll pay off eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, you learn every time you go out,
You
and
do.
you should be looking at that too when you're going out, it's kinda like a learning session.
Mm.
It's not always going out to try to catch the most fish or catch the biggest fish. It should be a learning section, like, I saw these fish acting this way, and I couldn't get them doing it this way. What could I change to make those fish eat? So,
Yeah, exactly.
that's what you
That's
gotta
awesome.
do.
Absolutely. So for those people who don't know, and you've touched base a little bit on this at the beginning as well, but I'll re-ask. So what does Root River Rodco offer when it comes to guided trips?
So yeah, we do the drift boat trips, full days, half days, and we can do multiple drift boat trips. We now have this year 6 boats in our arsenal with my guides and everybody, so we can do groups. Last year we did a lot of bachelor parties.
I sh
Uh,
I should have hit
and
you up. I just got married
y-
in October, and we literally just fished around in my area, but I should have done that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like I don't know, this like next generation, they're not drinking as much, and so they're doing stuff like that for bachelor parties now. So I mean, we were at the first one, we were like, "Oh, great, we're gonna have a bunch of drunk kids
Yep.
roaming around." They were like from all over, and they were like super nice, respectful, and like maybe would go out and have some beers at the brewery at night. But like during the day, they like wanted to learn how to fish, and it was cool. And then
That's sweet.
all of a sudden, it was the year of the bachelor parties last year, and we floated them. We did walking waves with them, so it was cool.
That is very cool. I love to hear that because yeah, it's you don't see too many people that like yeah go to Vegas or Arizona and rent an Airbnb. A lot of people are doing like yeah fishing or they're going on little hunting trips, getting out and yeah at night go out and have a few beers, play some darts, whatever you're into. But that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. So we had fun with that, and it's cool, and to kind of be a part of that, and
Yeah,
you know, make new friends.
exactly. I'm sure you made a lot of new friends. What do you prefer to do? Do you prefer to do the drift boat or do you prefer to do the wading or is it just kind of up in the air?
Uh, it's kind of for myself. I do a lot of drift boat trips. Um, just because I'm kind of the most knowledgeable at them around here. So, and then I have a lot of repeat clients that just want to float and stuff like that. So, um, I'll do that, and then a couple of other guides like just don't do float trips. They only do wade trips. So it kind of just works out like that, and then have a couple other guys that do both. So, uh, I just I'll take my regulars out, my repeats, and then I'll take some scraps here and there. But most of the time, most of my stuff is kind of repeat clients now, which is great.
Yeah, that's got to be nice. Just kind of have that relationship already kind of, figured out and know what you're getting into. Same with them. They know what they're getting when they, all right, it's Lance. We know we have a relationship. We know what we're getting into. So I'm sure that's very nice.
Yeah, yeah, it's it's awesome. I mean, they just turn into good friends, and yeah, it doesn't feel like I'm working at all. I'm just tying their flies on basically, and they now know the river system so well too. It's like you barely have to call the shots out, and
That's sweet.
they just kind of do it, and you're just there to
You're
row
just
the
kind of
boat.
there.
So
Yeah, that's sweet, man. That's sweet. I have been in the drift boat once. Last year, I went on the Mississippi with a buddy, and we went after smallmouth. And I'll tell you what, that is definitely different, like casting a fly rod in a boat and kind of those logistics. Because I've always just been a waiter guy, and it's like, oh wow, this is a little different. It took me a while to adjust to that, just standing up and being able to cast in a boat and just all those kind of logistics. I was like, yeah, this is a little different.
yeah, yeah, it is. It is different, but it's great. So I mean, if you ever want to get out with me, just let me know, and we'll go and have some fun and
Yeah,
catch some fish and float. So
yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, it's got to be so much just cool to just be out, like just honestly just being out floating on the river too. It's just like it's a cool thing in general. So it's like, all right, cool.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. So was there a moment when, you Root River Rodco kind of hit that point where you're like, wow, this is bigger than I ever thought, or is it kind of how your dreams have played out?
It's it's growing for sure, and it's now I'm finally like seeing like the hard work. It's like super delayed gratification of I might have done something a year ago, and then now it's like paying off. So
Yeah,
that's kind of kind of how business works. But yeah, it's growing, it's booming. We just had our best year. 2025 was our best year on record yet, so it's
nice, man.
great. And we're I just always try and see what I can do better. I'm not trying to compete with any other fly shop or look at them as competitors or anything. I just look at them as friends, and so I just look at myself and how can I do it better? What did I do last year? Where did I make a mistake? Or so uh, it's great, and just having a great staff here is huge, and so couldn't do without them too. So gotta have people on your team to help.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I think in anything in life, whether that's raising a family or starting a business, it's the old saying you need an army to do it, and I believe that. I am not a father yet or anything. I don't own a business, but I can see where all of that definitely comes into play.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 2 kids. One's
Oh,
3 and one's 12. So it's,
you're a
I've got
busy
my
guy.
yeah, busy, busy, busy.
Yeah,
And, it's not like the only business we have and the only stuff we do, so it's a lot.
yeah, I believe that. Do you ever like like you don't close down at all, do you? Like maybe holidays you'll have some time off, but you don't like close the doors for like a month long or anything?
No, we stay open year round. We just kinda reduce hours in the wintertime like now, but we're still open 5 days a week. And summertime, we're 7 days a week. It's go time because we are in a, like, destination area for fly
Oh,
fishing,
yeah.
so, you gotta make hay while the sun shines in summertime, so we're open 7 days a week, and, this town wakes up from dead of winter to just booming, so, yeah, we don't close down, though.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, springtime down there, you have fly fishing, you have trout, or sorry, you have turkey hunters, you have morel, mushroom hunters, you have hikers, you have bird watchers. You just have people that want to get out because, yeah, we're waking up from the deep freeze, and I can imagine how nuts it gets when it starts to get warmed up.
Yeah, yeah, and we have, like, the bike trail that is,
Hmm.
like, 40 plus miles of paved bike trail.
Wow,
So
I
they're
didn't
like
know that.
bike riding's huge, like, our town's a huge hub for that.
Hmm.
So you can do, like, the paved bike trail, or gravel bike riding is also a huge hub for Lanesboro because in the fall time, there's a giant gravel bike race. It's called the Filthy 50, and literally 1,000 people line up in front of my shop and start to go do this huge race. So it's more than just fishing here.
It
It's a
is.
booming town.
It is. Yeah, I mean, I feel like people literally just come to Lanesboro just to vacation. Like they don't even have like a like, oh, I need to fish or I need to bike. They just let's go to Lanesboro for a vacation, and then they figure out what to do from there. So that's very cool.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like perfect for people in Minneapolis to come down here on vacation because we're just 2 hours away. But it feels like you're in a different state when you come down here than being in Minneapolis and surrounded by lakes. We're like Fillmore County is like one of 3 counties, I think, that doesn't have a lake in
Nope.
Minnesota. So it's all spring-fed rivers, and like, yeah, people come down from Minneapolis and they're just like blown away that we don't have any lakes down here. So
Yeah, that is bizarre. It's like, yeah, we always people think like Minnesota, like, cabin life, lake life. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but like if you want a cabin in a driftless, you're not getting a lake,
no, you're
which
not getting
I'm
a lake.
fine with.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't need to jet ski and into tube and stuff. I just need a couple rivers.
Yeah, me too.
That's awesome. All right, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and kind of throw some guide questions at you because I think it's awesome that you're doing that down there. I'm sure you have a lot of cool stories when it comes to that, just meeting different people. But in your opinion, what is a mistake you see clients make that isn't about casting or fly choices?
Um, I guess the mistake is thinking thinking that it's harder than it really is. Um,
Hmm.
it's it's really not that hard. I
Yeah,
mean, we take a lot of brand new people out that never touched a fly rod before, and they're like, "It looks so hard. How can you do that?" And it's really not hard. It's easy. It's all technique. So
it is.
just kind of getting that mentality out of their mind is that's it. Otherwise, it's easy. Technique, don't overforce it, and you can get it. So
I agree. I agree. Yeah, when I first learned, like, I didn't know anything, and I started out just nymphing, and like at the end of the day, like if you can roll cast a nymph rig, like you're gonna catch fish, like you're gonna, and like that's just one cool way to like, okay, if I can just go out and do this, at least I kind of am starting to learn. I'm starting to understand how the fly rod works. I'm starting to understand how the leader works, all that stuff, and then you're also starting to learn how the trout behave and how the rivers behave and how the bugs behave, and then you can kind of put it all together. And but that takes years.
yeah, yeah, it does take a while to learn all that. The hatches and reading water and stuff like that. Um, but it's that's part of the program.
It is. Learning anything new is always going to be a journey, regardless what it is in life. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything that you like, maybe unteach is a bad word, but is there anything that you like kind of see when you take someone on? It's like, let's not do that. Or is there anything that kind of like hits you when you're seeing that?
It just varies from
Hmm.
person to person. You can tell if somebody comes from like a, you know, spin fishing background and they grab the fly rod, they really want to overpower it. And yeah, not, like just having like that pause in your back cast
Hmm.
and then going forward, like that's really hard for them to do that. And then yeah, it just varies from person to person on what they've already learned. So that's why we like taking people out who have never been out before, because then we can just kind of teach them the correct way, and then they're kind of set for their next guide they go out with. And so yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
agree. That is cool. It's kind of like when you're like doing like job interviews, and it's like you might be like underqualified for a job, but then the manager's like, well, if you don't have the experience, I can teach you the right ways slash their ways, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, all right, I can see how
yeah,
this could work.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, yeah, it's just yeah, for anyone new, just it's taking that initial step and getting into it. So just
Absolutely.
trying
Yeah.
to learn the right way.
Yeah, because it is intimidating. I mean, and maybe not for everyone, but yeah, like just jumping into something like, and yeah, fly fishing does get kind of like it's hard, don't try it kind of stigma, but like you said, it's a lot of technique, it's a lot of just patience and understanding things, and at the end of the day, if it still is hard, it'll get easier.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's, if you're doing it by yourself, trying
Yeah.
to self-teach it, and it's still hard, I would say try and save up for like a guide. Try and get something like a half
Yeah.
day. You'll learn, a half day trip with us. You just learn years of stuff in 4 hours.
I believe that.
uh, and then if you can't afford that, just get a casting lesson. Like we do casting lessons too, and that will just like open up a whole new door to fish that you couldn't reach before because you couldn't cast that far, you couldn't roll cast, you couldn't, do that. So a casting lesson would be this, a start too. So just to understand the mechanics of the fly rod.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I seen that you offered casting lessons. I think that's great. Honestly, I might take you up on that someday. I do feel like I fish solo probably 90% of the time. And like when you're fishing solo, you're obviously, you're not seeing like what's kind of going on like from a other person's point of view unless you have
Yeah.
camera set up. So like that was another really cool thing about like recording myself and making YouTube. I got to literally like be like an athlete and kind of watch my stuff back and
Yeah.
be like, dude, why are you casting like that, or why are you walking that way, or
Oh
what are
yeah.
you doing? And it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I started fishing with some other people. You probably seen them on my videos and stuff, and like, yeah, they just be like, they're watching from afar, and it's like, dude, try this looks a lot better. Try this technique or try this. And it's like, I never would have known that if you didn't say that. So it is very cool when you get around people that can just watch you or teach you. Because if you don't know something, you literally just don't know, because how can you? So that's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, going with someone that has like a little bit of experience or a lot of experience, just more than what you have
Hmm.
is definitely helpful.
It is. That's for
Find
sure.
find find someone that will take you out, as a buddy, and we do that all the time too. It's like, someone will hit us up, be like, I can't afford it. I'm only in town for this long. Like, we'll just be like, all right, we can just go kind of fish together, but I'll give you some tips as we fish.
Yeah, of
But I
course.
also want to catch a fish too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You got to at least catch
Yeah.
a few yourself. Real quick, let me catch a few myself, and then we'll focus on you.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, it's, like we like to take, when us friends go out, like we'll like take turns, like, leapfrogging each other almost, and be like, there might be a pot of fish in one spot. And if you can work like 10 fish out of that hole and just, take turns, you caught one. All right. I'll rope one real quick and then back and forth.
Yeah. No, it is hard to like fish with a group of people when you're like waiting, because it's like, a lot of the streams we fish in are very small. So it's like, how do you kind of do that properly? And I do think leapfrogging is kind of personally the best way I've found it to. It's like, okay, I got this hole, you go ahead and jump me, don't blow anything up right in front of me, and then we'll kind
Yeah.
of just rotate like that. I think that's the most effective way, unless you found other ways, but I feel like that's kind of what I tend to do if I fish with others.
Yeah. Yeah. Doing it that way. And then, otherwise, depending on how close you want to be, you can stand right next to each other and just fish the same spot, like taking turns. So,
You can't do that. I did that a little bit last year with some buddies and took a midge right to the back of the ear. So I was like, all right, I don't think we're gonna do this anymore.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. There's always that risk.
yeah. It's like, all right. It was a hopper drop or two. So I'm just glad the hopper didn't go in. It just smacked my neck, and the midge just fully emerged into my ear. I was like, well, at least it's the midge.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
able to rip it out pretty easy.
Yeah. Those still hurt. So,
They do still hurt. You're not wrong. Awesome. So, a question, I ask a lot of driftless people this, and I get a lot of different responses, and I kind of have my opinions on it too. But in your opinion, what is the perfect fly rod for the driftless? I'm talking
uh,
weight, I'm talking length. You don't have
yeah.
to go into like more, setup details. But what do you think?
Um, I'm I'm a little bit different. I would say a 9 foot 5 weight is that's my go-to. That's
Yep.
my bread and butter.
Yep.
Because I can switch from dries, hoppers, nymphing, streamers. I mean, 9 foot 5 weight for most of the streams around here will handle the size of streamer you're gonna throw. And still light enough where you can throw a, blue wing olive on it. So
Absolutely.
I like using 9'5" weight. A lot of people like going shorter
Hmm.
and like with a 4 weight, like a 8.5 foot 4 weight is, probably the most popular, but 9'5" weight is my go-to.
Yeah, I agree. I probably 80% of the time I'm out with the 9'5" because, like you said, it's so versatile, and in the driftless, like there'll be people you ask and be like, if you fish the driftless, and that's your water, like why would you ever buy anything besides a 9'5" weight? And like I definitely can understand that. And I mean, if you're gonna get into steelhead and stuff like that, obviously that's another conversation and not in the driftless. But yeah, 9'5" is it's a pretty good setup.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to beat.
It is, yeah. If I know, like, let's say early May, when the mayflies start moving, I know, like, okay, in the back of my head, I'm gonna go out today. I'm just gonna be throwing dries. Like, I'll maybe grab my 3 weight just because it's fun. Just I have a little 7 foot 3 weight or even an 8 foot 3 weight, and it's like, okay, this is pretty fun with just a little BWO on it. But yeah, I'm not gonna be putting streamers on that by any means.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just how you're feeling that day, but most of the time it's 9'5" weight because hatch will start in the evening and you want to catch fish before that. So
Exactly.
nymphing. Need something to
Yeah,
nymph.
exactly. Do you nymph a lot yourself, or are you kind of not in the camp of nymphing?
Yeah, I do it all. I'll nymph definitely a lot, but streamers are my go-to. That's that's what I do. That's I start with the streamer usually.
Do you? Yeah. Streamer
Hmm.
fishing is fun. That was the last thing I learned how to do in the fly fishing world was streamer fishing, and I was like, okay, this is pretty fun. Like you're gonna move some big fish and maybe hook into some big fish, and yeah, I kind of fell in love with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you won't catch as many, but it's just cool to see that different side of a trout. You know, you can go from like the picture perfect little dry fly eat, and then you just throw on a giant 6-inch dungeon or something, and then that trout all of a sudden, like,
Yeah,
opposite spectrum is just gonna
yeah,
murder that
yeah.
fly.
Turns into a frickin' shark. It's like, whoa,
Yeah,
you can do
yeah,
that too. You can sip on a bug that I can barely see, but you can also, yeah, smack a 6-inch dungeon. That's bizarre.
yeah, yep,
It's
so that's
there's
that's just why I do it. I just like doing that and seeing otherwise, I'll dry fly fish or,
Mhm.
if I just wanna catch fish, like, before opening the shop, like I said, on my way here, I'll nymph, and you can just pop a fish out real quick.
Yeah, all times of the year. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Agreed. In your opinion, what would be the most misunderstood thing about fishing driftless stream?
Um I guess a misunderstood thing that we only have small fish here, which
Yeah,
isn't true.
yeah.
We got some monsters lurking
There's some
around,
good fish. Yes.
and they are in tiny creeks. I mean, my biggest fish I caught a year ago was in a creek you could jump across. So,
Isn't that something?
mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
that is very cool.
it's nuts. I mean, there's fish out there that are scary big.
There is some big fish. Yes.
Rival Montana, I know that. I mean, because mine was 28.
Whew.
The biggest an employee that has caught a fish here is 29, and we know of a couple of 30s out there. So there's some 30-inch fish in these small creeks. That's
Dude,
where they're at. With the big ones is the small creeks.
that is large.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is just taking up. If it's a small creek, yeah, that is a dominant species just sitting
Yeah.
there. Like, whew.
It looks so out of place when when you walk up on one. Like when I caught my big one a year ago, it was like sitting at the head of this hole that was like 10 feet long and 2 feet deep, thigh deep
Jeez.
maybe. And it was just like sitting at the head of it on the sand. And I was like, dude, is that a like catfish or something or a giant carp? And no, it was just a giant freaking trout. And yeah, they just dominate
That's
shoot holes.
crazy.
So
That is really cool. Did you like sight fish it then, or did you kind of?
yeah, I sight fished it
That's even
over.
cooler.
Yeah.
Hey
Yeah.
man, that That's big. I mean, that's big anywhere. I mean, I don't care where you're fly fishing. I mean, a 30-inch fish in general is just a big fish.
Yeah. No, it's it's a huge fish. I feel like now with social media and stuff, like
Mm.
they're just, the 30-inch is like becoming so common to hear people say like caught a 30, and it's like, did you really? Like, I mean, I literally bring a bump board with me to bump these fish.
That's smart. Yeah,
When I'm targeting large fish like that, like I'll bring a bump board and not just like a little tape measure thing, legit bump board and carry that. And I know a couple other people that who hunt large fish in small creeks, they do the same. So, um, getting that legit bump board and, legit measurements of it, it's cool. But
that is cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that is. That's. Have you ever? You probably might have them in your shop, but those little proof balls. Have you seen those around?
Yeah, I have seen
Or-
those. I mean, I've had trouble with mine, just like with accurate readings. It's, it's you kind of gotta lay the fish on the ground or something to get it
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
But if you're gonna do that, then you might as well just lay it on a bump board and have it right
exactly.
there.
Yeah. I was gonna say bump board's gonna be more ethical anyway, because then you're not putting it in the grass or the
Yeah,
gravel or the rocks or whatever.
yeah,
That's
yeah. I mean,
awesome.
yeah. I've just, yeah. Mine. I mean, it's a great concept, and
Yeah,
I think it will.
agreed.
I think it will be, really, pretty dialed, just a little bit more tech added to it. But I mean, I got mine right when they first came out,
Same.
and it's like, yeah, if that fish turns and you're trying to hold it, and it's not that, because yeah, we compared it to the bump board a lot, and some of it was pretty surprising how off it was.
Like, yeah, this isn't a 36 inch, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's awesome. They do a lot of updates to the app, which is really cool. So yeah, I'm sure, like you said, someday it'll be perfect. And honestly, yeah,
yeah,
the fish has to play its part too. You get a very
yeah,
aggressive fish, it's kind of like, well, all right, buddy, I'm just putting you back because at this point,
yeah.
I don't want to kill you and stuff. So it's like, toodaloo.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and it's like, I'm not hating on them at all, but yeah, it's the fish does have to play its part for it to be,
Absolutely.
completely accurate, but it's
Agree.
cool.
Agree. Do
Uh,
you do a lot of mousing down there too?
yeah, we do some mousing. I don't personally go out as much anymore since I have, like, a young one now, but before the young one, yeah, I was like, I'd go mousing and catch some giants that way too.
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
pretty cool
that's
way to fish.
yeah, it's spooky, it's scary, especially going by yourself, walking through the woods at
Yeah.
nighttime around.
Yeah, it's not my favorite thing either. Like I do my fair share of hunting and stuff, and obviously, you go out when it's, dark and stuff, and that's different. But like you're just out there with your fly rod in the middle of a river. It can be a little spooky sometimes.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Awesome. So cool. So, in your opinion, as someone who's guided people, what's harder, putting someone on fish or keeping them confident in a slow day?
What's harder? I mean, keeping them confident. There's so many fish around here. It's easy to find the fish and easy, to have them get a shot. But yeah, just if the fish aren't playing their part again, you gotta keep the stoke level up. So, um, that that can be, the challenge of guiding is like you see someone, they're struggling, you physically know how to do it and how you
Yeah.
would just like could catch a fish, but it's hard to translate that through words and without really demonstrating it, because
Hmm.
just the old guide curse, like I swear every time I'll like just they tell me to make one demonstration, it's like the one cast and it's like the fish. And it's like, oh man, I wasn't trying to actually catch a fish. I was just trying to show you how to do this technique, and then it happens. I swear,
That's
it's
funny, man. I've heard of it, and I don't guide it or anything, but yeah, I've heard of people talking about that, and you see videos of it too, and it's like, oh, that's real, huh?
yeah, no, it's definitely real. It's so many times it's just like they'll just like be struggling, missing fish, doing whatever, and you're trying to coach them a technique or whatever, and they're like, all right, well, just show me one time, and it's like, okay, it's like boom, and There's a
15-inch
fish.
brown.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny, man. That's awesome. Well, then at least, maybe sometimes people are like, okay, I need to listen to this guy. He does know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yep.
funny.
So,
Awesome. So another guide question for you, maybe a little more fun one. What's a guide fail that, looking back, you couldn't really laugh about at the moment, but now you're like, okay,
uh, mine, mine is I forgot a net and I was floating through town here, and like my fly shop's so close to the river that it floated probably 30 minutes of water, and then I'm still close to my shop, like just literally across the street is the river. And got to this point where I knew I could like get out, run to the shop, and grab a net, and I like literally because we were catching fish, and I was like, oh my god, like we're banging fish, we need to get a net. And then so I pulled the boat over and ran up to the shop and bought a net, and then ran back down, because it was just like took 5 minutes to
yeah.
run up here and run back down to the water. And then I was like, oh yeah, I just left my net at the shop. They're like, nope,
Oh
I had to
man,
buy a new net and just like get in the boat. So
that is awesome, man. Talk about being, at the right place for something to go wrong. Like,
yeah,
just gonna run up the stairs real quick.
yeah, yeah. It's like the one time I forgot the net, and then like luckily, yeah, I was on that section of water, and it was close.
That's funny. Yeah, just gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll just hold on.
That's too good, man. That's awesome. That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, nets are important. And
Mm-hmm.
I forget mine sometimes, and it's like I'll just turn around and go home. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna get frustrated. This isn't what I want to be doing. So I'm just gonna go home today.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's different when you're like just out by yourself, but
Yeah.
when you have clients and they kind of, they either don't catch a lot of fish or never caught fish, like you kind of want that net so that you can hold the fish and they can,
Hmm.
look at it, take it in. So it's
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
the one and only time I forgot the net. I won't ever forget a net again.
I was gonna say you're never gonna forget. I'm sure.
No.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, someone who guides, do you think guiding changes the way you fish for yourself, like better or worse? Like, how does that kind of play into when you go fishing?
It definitely makes fishing more enjoyable for my own, like I love taking people out and it's a lot of fun. But then it's like just going out on my own. It's just like you can like clear your mind and just really not have to vocal anything. It's just, doesn't matter if you're catching fish or not. It's just makes it more enjoyable that way. So, kind of hard to describe.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, because I mean, I'm sure guiding. I'm sure you feel pressure, like just a lot of pressure to perform. Safety's obviously very important. You're taking people out literally that are trusting you with their lives on water. So like that's
Yeah.
high pressure in itself. So yeah, I can't
Yeah.
imagine how that pressure can kind of build up and it's like, okay, I need to just, go fish by myself and just me, the trout, the river for a day. I'm sure you have those moments.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's therapeutic, it's like, yeah, you just, especially like, I mean, guiding's a lot of work. It's a lot more work than people think. And especially running drift boats and stuff,
Yeah.
like it's you gotta make sure your trailer's good, make sure all your bearings are oiled. You gotta wash the boat after every day. You gotta empty the cooler, repack the cooler the next day, and like so you spend 2 3 hours after the guide trip of doing work, and then it's like so that 6 hours on the water turns into 8 9 hours after
Yeah.
everything's said and done. So
Yeah, no,
um,
absolutely. Like you said, with the drift boat, it's got to just be a whole different game. Like, yeah, if you're taking people out, waiting, like maybe you're giving them waiters or whatever. But besides that, like, you have the
yeah,
flies, you have the fly rods, like that's normal life stuff. But yeah, you throw in the drift boat, that's a whole next level.
yeah, yeah. It's a whole nother variable that stuff can go wrong. you know, oars can break, your
Yeah.
anchor gets stuck, you just lose your anchor. Like I've had stuff like that happen to guides. And then you just gotta also be careful of like river danger, you
Yeah.
know, trees
Yeah.
and stuff that fall across. I mean, I've had trees block the river that just fell over that wasn't even a storm or anything the night before, and it's like, I just floated this yesterday and this was
Yeah.
open and now there's a tree.
Dang.
So you gotta cut your way through that, and it's, you know, it's a lot of different stuff.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Yeah. Like rivers can, yeah, literally change within hours, especially in the springtime. So I can only
Oh, yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, yeah. When the
That's
ground's
crazy.
soft and yeah, it doesn't take much rain or anything to, you know, change it.
No, I think was it this last spring? I think I saw one of your couple of your videos of just the river just absolutely gushing. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Like this is
yeah.
you can't like blown out chocolate milk.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, it happens every year. We get a big
Hmm.
flood, June of 2024.
Yeah,
It was a major flood. I mean, the campgrounds flooded, they evacuated people, like, it was no joke. They
that's crazy.
closed the highway near us, and yeah, that was a real flood.
Yeah, that I think that's the one I think I remember. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was intense. It was I mean everywhere was like pretty bad. I mean even up in my area, it was like I'd go to some of my favorite places and I'd pull up and I'd be like, no, like where's the
yeah,
river? Like it's just this pasture is now a lake. Like I'm not even gonna
yeah.
attempt to fish in here because it's
No,
A,
yeah, and it just
dangerous, and B, like I mean, yeah, I can throw some bright streamers and see what happens, but I don't think so.
yeah, yeah, and, like, on the big river here, like, when it's flooded like that, there's, you know, trees that float down, like 60-foot trees that'll float down sideways, and, like, so you don't wanna be near the water because one of those will just take you out, and then you're a goner, so,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, so we do our due diligence when big floods like that happen, we'll run a boat real quick on some
Okay.
streams and make sure stuff's not blocked, and because I mean, log jams can happen after a big flood like that, stuff. We'll do all that and just make sure it's good to go for our clients and, you know, for their safety. Cause yeah, that's number one. And then catching fish is two.
Yeah.
And then don't forget the lunch is three.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's important too, man. Gotta have speaking of lunch, what is your go-to river snack?
River snack, man.
Or
Um,
post river snack too. It doesn't have to be on the river.
yeah, no, I would say, you know, some kind of chocolate bar, a Snickers or a Twix or like Reese's cups, like chocolate. I love chocolate.
Yeah.
Uh Any of that for, like, you know, river snack or, like, just, like, a meat stick too, also, like, actually keeps you going, but, you know, having that chocolate is good.
Yeah, it is. Just a fun little pick me up. I've been recently
Yeah.
making my own jerky and I've been bringing that out with me and I'm like, "Oh, this is actually giving me a little protein. It's actually kind of filling me up." And I was like, "Okay, this will probably be my go-to moving or bacon." I've been doing just like I'll make some bacon
Yeah,
and then I'll just
bacon.
put it in a baggie and just put it in my waders and I don't know, piece of bacon
Y
3 hours later, sure.
yeah, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Actually, like, cold fried chicken, like, if you
Oh,
ever get, like, fried chicken from Quick Trip and just throw it in your cooler and then have
yep.
that for lunch, it's cold, that's,
Yeah.
like that's the move.
Dude, Quick Trip in general,
Yeah.
it's I have an addiction to Quick Trip. It's bad. If I'm going fishing, which I mean, I fish 4 to 5 times a week, and it's like I'm probably stopping at Quick Trip almost every time, and it's not great, but it's just part of my routine. So
Yeah, yeah, no, but yeah, that's the move. Get some chicken tenders,
I'm
throw
gonna
them
do
in
that.
there.
I love
Yeah,
cold chicken. Cold chicken's great.
yeah.
Awesome. One more question for you, Lance. If you weren't guiding and running a shop, what would you be doing in life?
If the shop never happened, I would probably still be electrician. I was an electrician before the shop. I'd probably still be doing that, making actual money.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Electricians
Yeah,
they make bank. They do make bank.
yeah, yeah. But
That's awesome.
now that I have the shop, it's like I can't complain about life at all. But you know, it's not as much money in the bank as being an electrician. So
Yeah,
it's a
that's fair.
trade-off.
It was a fair
Trade-off.
trade, and like you said, it's family run. I'm sure your whole family's involved and friends, and it's just I'm sure it's more than you can put a price tag on at that point. So that's very
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like, uh, just like over the weekend, like the school was closed because it was so cold. It was like we just came here after like dinner, and it's like we have TVs in the shop, and kids can
yeah
run around the shop or turn
yeah
on a show, and we'll like reconfigurate them some things and clean and do this, and just like, I mean, we ended up eating dinner here the other night too,
that's
and it's
awesome,
just
man.
like it's fun, cool. And I'll get a text from some people that live in town and be like, "Dude, did you leave the lights on?" I was like, "No, we're just there hanging out."
That, dude,
So,
that's unbelievable. Yeah, the community just watching your back and stuff. That's so cool, man.
yeah, it's fun. So that's like the best part is just like being able to have the whole family here and enjoy it. Uh, you know, always just tweaking things, talking about things, and having fun with it.
That's awesome, man. That is the dream. Well, awesome, man. Those are all the questions I had for you. Do you have any other final comments or anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, you can look us up online at rootriverrodco.com for guiding and online store. We sell everything that we have in the shop online, so check us out. Sign up for our email list if you want special discounts and stuff like that too. But yeah, also give us a call if you want just river updates,
Yeah,
hatches, what's going on, where to even go fishing. We do all that with a phone call or just stop in. We'll point you in the right direction and help you out with some flies, whatever you need. So
yeah, that's awesome. I can personally attest that. I hit you up a couple of months ago. Just kind of, I the sometimes get a little confused with the regulations when the seasons are closed in Minnesota, and I reached out to you and got a solid answer on all that. So yeah, I can attest to that.
yeah, it's yeah, the kind of off season here it gets
It's
a
a little
little
hairy.
tricky. Yeah, and it's not clearly on the DNR website, so just give us a call and we'll tell you exactly where and
Yeah.
when you can go. So
Yes, awesome. Well, awesome, Lance. I do want to thank you for hopping on as well. This was an awesome conversation. I know it's not easy to always get together and chit chat, so I do appreciate you taking the time to come on.
no, I appreciate you having me on here and had a lot of fun and looking forward to hearing it and hearing more coming from you.
Yeah, absolutely.